Greetings and welcome to LGR Oddware, where we're taking a look at hardware and software that is odd, forgotten, and obsolete. And this time around, we've got this right here, the PC Action Replay from Daytel for MS-DOS-based PCs from the early 90s. And yeah, this is a little different than the one I covered before that was just like a little parallel port thingy and some software for Windows 95. This is not that. This is an actual straight-up ISA card that plugs into your computer and manipulates things on a little deeper level and allows you to cheat at your games and get some save states and slow motion and all sorts of other little things can be manipulated using a combination of the card and this weird little mouse looking thing with buttons and switches and stuff. Yeah, what in the world? Let's take a look at it. So, this is the Ultimate Game Buster, the Daytel PC Action Replay from late 1993, one of the original models that sold for £70 in the UK or $90 in the US. It's an 8-bit ISA card paired with a little breakout box they called the Freezer Controller. Huge thanks to Brandon for loaning me this one for Oddware because these things have become exceptionally hard to find relative to its later console counterparts. Or even compared to the later PC Action Replay devices, like the one I previously covered on LGR Oddware. But that was a glorified trainer program with a copy protection dongle you plugged into a parallel port, whereas this earlier model is a fully fledged PC expansion card for systems running at minimum a 286 processor and MS-DOS version 3.2. More energy, more levels, more power, more lives. Action Replay gives you the power to bust your games wide open. Just imagine the power to freeze any program and take total control. Yeah, that'd certainly be a nice change of pace compared to the other PC models I've tried. Those didn't exactly grant me phenomenal game-busting power so much as they, flat out didn't work. But I mean, dude, if this does what it says it does, like generate infinite cheats, take screenshots, freeze gameplay, enable slow motion, monitor memory contents, and scan for viruses in real time, that'd be pretty fantastic. If anything, the fact that Daytel Electronics themselves advertised it so heavily back in the day seems to imply a certain high level of confidence in the product, more so than the crappy parallel port models. This PC Action Replay received several board revisions, software updates, box art changes, and price drops over the years, but the core functionality remained the same. Provide infinite cheat codes through software and freeze games in place using the paddle. That latter feature is one that I find highly intriguing, since the way it's described makes it sound like a kind of save state function that you normally see on emulators. Yet, this is an ISA card for MS-DOS PCs, so having that kind of functionality through a hardware add-on is wildly amusing, assuming it actually works. Inside the box, you get the Action Replay software on a 3.5-inch double-density diskette. I don't know the exact version of the software, but the files are dated to December of 1993. Then there's the Freezer Controller, which looks kinda like a tiny serial mouse minus the ball underneath. The orange button is for activating the Action Replay software itself, allowing you to do things like enter cheats and freeze whatever's in memory, and this little switch is for activating slow motion. It connects to the Action Replay card using what appears to be a 9-pin serial interface, or at least it's the same kind of D-sub connector on the end. However, Daytel repeatedly warned users not to plug serial devices into the card or plug the freezer into serial, so yeah. As for the card itself, it's a neat little 8-bit ISA card with a handful of programmable array logic chips, some static RAM, a PLCC socketed ROM chip, along with a pin header and set of dip switches for the Action Replay's ROM address, I/O port, and IRQ settings. Finally, there's an impressive 50-page spiral-bound instruction manual, something that reviewers at the time criticized for being perhaps a bit too technical to the point of being confusing. And yeah, I mean, this gets intense. Even the, quote, quick installation and setup section consists of 7 pages packed with text, and it only gets more convoluted from there with detailed appendices on things like hexadecimal notation and the basics of 20-bit memory addressing. Even the Q&A troubleshooting section is direct and to the point, with answers like, "You are making a mistake. If you give the trainer one wrong piece of information, you could do 1,000 passes and you would still not find the right code." Welp, that's promising. On that note, let's get the Ultimate Game Buster installed, and for that, we'll be using the venerable LGR Woodgrain 46. Just gotta drop it into a free ISA slot, and that's about it, as I've already set the I/O port and IRQ address on the card, so they won't conflict with other devices. Then it's just a matter of plugging in the freezer paddle, again keeping in mind to plug it into the 9-pin port and not the serial port by accident. And yeah, that's about it. Time to freeze and cheat our way to MS-DOS gaming victory. Alright, now that we've got the thing installed in the Woodgrain 486, it's just a matter of getting the software put on the thing through the floppy disk. And that is incredibly simple, just a setup program that guides you through things, mostly just making sure that it can see where the card is, where your mouse is, and addresses and things like that. Yeah, as long as nothing is conflicting and it knows where to put stuff, and autoexec.bat, you're ready to start cheating. And once the setup is configured and everything's installed, we restart it and it loads the Action Replay COM file here, the control program, and loads it into memory as a terminate and stay resident piece of software. So it's always running in the background. You can see all the settings that it got from the setup program. And now we can go into the Action Replay folder and we can look at what's in here. So it comes with a bunch of different things, a bunch of pre-configured files, and the COM file itself. And all we have to do now is just load a game and start messing around with our little thingy here. So it comes with this program here, PC Man, and this is not the PC Man I was expecting. It is a Pac-Man clone, but it's not the older one. It is some other shareware game I'd never heard of. But yeah, anyway, it mentions in the manual how to figure out this freezing stuff using PC Man here as an example. So yeah, it's this by Simon Constable. Intriguing. It doesn't appear to have any sound, but yeah, it is just a Pac-Man game. And so as an example of what we can do with this little freezer button, let's just press it. Get a spot here, press the button, doink, and it takes us over into the Action Replay menu here. Or really, it's just a command line. You can type in all sorts of things. This is way more advanced than the other PC Action Replays already. I mean, look at all this stuff. But yeah, we can go ahead and enter the trainer. And this is pretty awesome, actually. So we can select the trainer type, we can enter some parameters if we already know them, or we can load a parameter table. It does actually come with some already. We're not going to do that though. I'm just going to show you how we can run a trainer, like create our own parameters. Yeah. So the trainer type, there's really only one that it can do through this particular part of the program, lives or countable value. So entering a start value, this is the part of the memory that we're going to be looking for. So right now in the game we have 3 lives, so we're just going to type in 3 and it's going to scan the current memory and see if it finds anything in the program that we froze using the little thingy here. It found 4,882 possibilities, and using this function we can just look at the first 10, but this is useless. I mean, there's way too many possibilities, 4,882. So we need to narrow that down. So we can exit back to the frozen program. And since we're looking to mess with lives, let's just lose one really quick. So that takes us down to just 2 lives. So there's one, and then there's one you don't see because you get, like an extra. So we got 2 lives left. Let's go park our little man over here, press the button again, freeze it, and we're back to the trainer. I love this process. So the original value is 3. Now we have 2, and it found 1 location that went from 3 to 2 since we originally froze it. And there you go. We've got just the 1. This is the Action Replay parameter, very similar to like what you'd see in a Game Shark code. So this is the code and the address, and now it knows that. So let's go to enter parameters and then press insert, and that inserts the code that we just found, created by looking at the memory and having the program, compare what it knows. That's it. So we can go back to the frozen program, and now we should never be able to lose our lives. So yeah, look, it just goes right back to the full lives. Lose another one, goes right back. So we just created an infinite lives cheat for this PC Man game, and I can see why they included it, because it is, as you can see, very simple to narrow things down. And that's all, man. I mean, that's what this does. In theory, this is what the other PC Action replays were supposed to be doing, but it just couldn't find the memory addresses for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, look at that. We can lose all the lives we want. We never will. It's just going to keep on looping, so you can play this game forever. But let's not do that. Let's go into some of my other games that I have on here. We can play some Duke Nukem 1 and see if maybe we can, I don't know, do the same thing. Here's Duke Nukem, the first one, spelled with a U, as it was for a time due to potential copyright issues. So yeah, let's just go into the game here and still have time to watch Oprah. And there we go. So at the moment, yeah, we've got 8 bars of health, because we got full health, baby. So let's just, yeah, let's go into the trainer. Doink. And we can do this. Select the trainer type. We'll do the same thing we were doing with PC Man, but we're going to be looking for 8, because we get 8 bars of health. And it will scan the memory, and let's see what we find. 8,357 possibilities. Yeah. So let's exit to the program again, and let us lose a life, or a health. Ow, that kind of hurt. So that's that. We're down to 7. Doink. Now we're gonna look for 7. And it found 1. Wow. That was easier than I thought. Huh. Okay. So we've got literally just the one location address parameter, whatever. And so there's that and that. Awesome. We'll go in here and insert. Dink dink. And this should be it, I guess. Now, probably have infinite health. Oh, we do. Dude, that's so cool. Oh, dude, that works way better than I thought it would. Holy crap. That's interesting. So it's going to keep it at 7 no matter what. I'm assuming there's a way to modify that parameter so we can keep it at 8 no matter what, but whatever, the effect is the same. So if I get more health and then, yeah, then it just goes right back to 7. I don't know. Lucky number 7. Always got 7 health no matter what. That's pretty darn cool, man. So I could just stand in these spikes forever. So, okay, so we can only enter 2 digits at once. That kind of limits things. We can't necessarily alter, like, the score. If we just go out of here, we can maybe just look at some other things. Let's see, what can we do here? We can also, let's just monitor. Well, that doesn't do anything. Memory monitor on. Okay. So you have to know a specific memory address. Oh, let's see, well, okay. I can do this on the other hand. Dump standard EGA/VGA screens to disk. Let's just do... Yeah. I'm assuming it's gonna save this screen. All right, well, let's get out of here and let's try it. Hey, PCX, there it is. And there it is. That is really cool. All right, next order of business. How about we try out one of the cheat settings that it came with? Because, I mean, it's got a lot. In fact, the README and the setup program here, you can look at what it does come with. Legend, Gods, Magic Pockets, Prince of Persia, Whiz Kid, Pinball Dreams, Unlimited Balls, Crazy Cars 3, Star Control 2, Frontier Elite 2, and PC Man, which you've already tried. Oh, let's see. It does say it does work with Windows by running it in standard mode. Huh. Okay, so we've got Pinball Dreams going here. Let's try out one of these configuration cheat files that it actually came with. So that is the parameter that it has for Unlimited Balls. Let's try that. All right, we've got 1 ball still, of course. So let's just get a bit of points and see what happens. Okay. I didn't mean to do that badly, but that works. All right, we should still have one ball left if the cheat was working. Ah, we do! Nice! Yeah, dude. This action replay just straight up does its job. That's awesome. At least with the games I'm trying it with so far, but I mean, again, we're doing like 100% better than we did with those other action replays and Game Sharks and stuff in the past for PC. Let's try Gods. I just like this music. So, let's get into the game. Man, I haven't played this in years. In fact, I haven't played the DOS version much at all. Mostly played this in the Amiga. And yeah, we have to do this every time in terms of telling it where the table is, because it's just going to be looking in the directory that the game is playing from. But yeah, it should just be Gods. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know which one's which. Let's have them all turned on, whatever. So, cool. That should be that. And now, in theory, we should be an invincible god, which is great. I guess I shouldn't. Okay, well, I'm still getting hurt, and I lost a life. Let's try again. Okay, yep, I am dying. I was thinking maybe it just let me live. No, it will not, even after hitting no lives left. Huh. Well, what the crap is that? It is definitely affecting something wrong there. That high score table was borked. All right, so something else I wanted to try on here is the slow-mo or slow motion option, which is this little switch on here. It's also configurable by going into the command thing, but I've just got the game Vet running here, and this runs way too fast on a 66 megahertz 46, and really anything faster than like a 16 megahertz 386. So this shift into first. Oh my goodness, yeah, it's ridiculous. So if we engage the slow motion, turn off the sound. Yeah, I don't think this is doing anything. Maybe the system is just too fast for it to do anything on that kind of 1%. Wait, 1% slowdown or 1% of the speed? That's oddly stated. 99%. So that should be extremely slow if that is how it works. Okay, that's definitely doing something. So it's backwards from like how it is using the program Slow-Mo or Most Slow in DOS, and it's not working very well. In fact, it's just very choppy. May as well just use like the turbo button that's on the computer. Yeah, see here is turbo engaged on the 486, like the actual hardware itself. This is what it should be doing. Here it is without turbo. Now we're full speed again, running over nuns. And then back on turbo. Without turbo. Yeah, the actual turbo switch or using something else makes more sense than the little switch on here. So, okay, well, that doesn't work very great, but it does work. What about this virus scan? What the hell is that? Okay. It is an actual virus scanner. Why not? Value for your money, I suppose. Don't know what it's using for its database of viruses, but cool. Here's one I was wanting to try. Freezing the memory. Just freeze the entire contents of memory to disk. Kind of sounds like a save state type of thing, so it looks like we can use this to just save it to a file. Intriguing. So I've got Crystal Caves running in the background here. Let's see if we'll do that. So this is what I had running at Crystal Caves right here, just the very beginning of the very first level, the first episode. Well, first level, depending on which level you choose, but first one I normally choose. And we'll just shoot the air and die. Poof! I am dead. So yeah, lost a life, totally dead. So let's see if we can unfreeze that and just go right back to where we were. I believe that's how this works. Let's see, yeah, unfreeze. CC, actually it'll be CA replay. CC something. Yeah, this. Unfreezing from this will overwrite the current contents of RAM. Yes. Go ahead. Whoa. How scary. Oh, dude, it totally works. Oh, that is rad. You got save states on a real DOS computer. Dude, that is cool. Oh, that is cool. This device is so cool. Dude, I love the fact that this actually works. Exactly what you want from Oddware. It is odd and it's obscure and obsolete and all these things, but man, it works and it is actually functional for something that is 30 years old, 25 years old, whatever, you know, old hardware for PCs. Oh, look at all these things. Yeah, dude, there's so much you can do with this card. Wow. Yeah, this is great. I am so glad we got to experience this, especially with how badly the other action replays ended up working out. Oh, man. Well, yeah, that's about it for the Ultimate Game Buster here, at least for this video. Yeah, this is mighty impressive that this PC Action Replay works so much better than the other PC Action Replay that I looked at before. I mean, you know, that doesn't have this kind of a hardware solution. That had a parallel port dongle, but that was really just for copy protection as far as I could tell, and the software wasn't nearly as straightforward as the trainer this comes with, and this just gives you way more options in terms of generating your own cheats and sniffing through memory and messing around with, like, dumping what's in the memory and opening it back up again. Like, there's so many things that you could potentially do with this, and it's just really cool. So thank you very much again to Brandon for sending this my way so I could look at it here with you on LGR Oddware. Maybe if I can get another one of these, like, for myself in the future, that'd be really cool. But yeah, I'm just happy that I got the opportunity to mess around with this one. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you like this, then, well, yeah, why not check out that other one that I covered in the past, or the Game Shark variant. Neither one of them worked, spoiler alert, but I tried. And if you like to see me trying with odd hardware and software, then this is the show for you. And there are new videos of all kinds going up each week here on LGR. And once again, thank you for watching.